Almost 30 years after Heather and Dylan battled Freddy Krueger, Elm Street's Nightmare has returned. Written, directed, and produced by Cecil Laird, this fan film continues the story of Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This will be along the same lines as my review of Bride of Killer Pinata in that I won't be showing any clips or revealing any spoilers. That way, anybody who hasn't seen it yet will be able to take it all in themselves. It was rather cool to see Miko Hughes return to one of his most well-known roles. Dave McRae did wonderfully in bringing Freddy back. The mannerisms, the laugh, etc. I enjoyed. The soundtrack, as someone who thoroughly enjoys many horror movie soundtracks, was fun. I liked the Running from This Dream Warrior mashup by Nancy and the Nightmares. The songs in general are good. The special effects by Nora Hewitt and Mike Rotella are solid. I bought that this was Freddy we were seeing, and the kills didn't come across as too cheesy or fake, though I would like to have seen more of them. I'm a sucker for some good lighting and atmosphere. There were a couple of times where I got some 80s vibes, and I appreciated that. Overall, it looks professional and competently shot. One of the things I need in order to sincerely enjoy a movie of any kind is a character or characters that I can relate to and somehow empathize with. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite do that here. Clearly, Dylan is our protagonist, and we should want to follow and root for him. I didn't get anything to grab onto. The slasher element seemed rather tame, in that there wasn't that much blood and gore by slasher standards. It's not a necessity, but I know for many it's quite important. After all, in New Nightmare, we saw a girl get eviscerated on the ceiling in a horrific manner. I have to say that a number of scenes were a bit too dark, and I mean that lighting-wise. It was difficult at times to see things that we were meant to see clearly. The settings, aside from the location of the audition sequence, weren't all that interesting. They felt kind of bland, but perhaps that's just my love of colorful and moody location stalking. The plot is lacking depth and a solid 3-act structure. I say that with the knowledge that this is meant to be a part 1 of sorts, so I'm hoping that in what follows we'll get more. We have a few different versions of Freddy in the franchise, and everyone has their preferred version. Dylan's New Nightmare took the far more threatening and serious approach with Freddy, which fits with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. However, there is something to be said about a movie that can throw in comedy elements while still taking things seriously. Aside from a few one-liners from Freddy, we really didn't get that. The ending. Yes, the ending that almost everyone has had something to say about. Some thought it was great and left them wanting more. Others thought it was cliché and cheap. Personally, I was quite confused by it. Not necessarily what happened, but how suddenly it just ended. The hook of it left me shrugging my shoulders. I know that people who don't like cliffhangers likely didn't enjoy it. On a similar note, the film felt incomplete. Much like a TV series that had a very short run before it was cancelled without warning. It can't stand on its own this way. So, as I said in my reaction, if this is part 1, good. I'm going to need more to the story and the characters to get a good feel for it. With all that being said, I'm giving Dylan's New Nightmare 4.5 out of 10 bloody thumbs up. Is Dylan's New Nightmare a bad fan film? Certainly not. It's lacking some important elements, but it's far from terrible. I simply need more substance and character depth to sink my teeth into it. Back in 2019, I reacted to the trailer for this film, and I was quite intrigued to see the finished product. New Nightmare is one of my favorites in the Nightmare franchise. Keeping in mind, like I said in my full reaction video, I don't hold on to the franchise as dearly as others, so I hope no one will throw me under the bus for that. And before anyone starts furiously typing in the comments, no, I haven't made a film. But just because a film is made does not make it a masterpiece. I say this as someone who reviewed Smiley, okay? I'm sure someone with a proper education in cinema would be able to summarize things in a technical sense far better than I could. These are simply my honest opinions and perspective, as someone passionate about the movies I cover. Regardless, well done to the cast and crew, because even attempting to make a film is quite a feat. But overall, remember,
I am going to be working on Dylan's New Nightmare coming up. And so I fully acknowledge and expect that there are going to be people out there that are going to do just as technical a breakdown of Dylan's New Nightmare when it comes out. I fully welcome it. I, as a filmmaker, always want to try and improve, and if there are people that can tell me things that will help me improve, I am always going to try and be open to it.
I would recommend Dylan's New Nightmare to Fred heads, slasher fans, fan film enthusiasts, and anyone who would like to see their pal Freddy again. See you later. If you're looking for more nightmares, check out my reviews of A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 and Freddy's Revenge 1985. Thank you to my patrons Michael Musail, The Horror Show, Bronson Wright Wolf, Diana Mo, Sean Sheridan, and Raiders AK for supporting the channel.